singing didn't bring them in, so we got to have some good questions to kind of stir up thoughts and run out on the airwaves and perk up the ears.
We're Pentecostals now.
Nathan said he sounded hard one for me.
What you got?
Why did they fight from Abraham's body?
Why did? Huh?
Why did they fight for Abraham's body?
What is that, Jude?
Is that what you said?
The archangel and the devil.
Right. They didn't.
They talked to the devil.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Where's that at? Jude?
Yeah. They fought over Moses' body.
Well,
That's just like how many sets of animals or how many of each animal did Moses take on the ark?
Yeah.
There are two. No.
Nope.
So who was it, Nathan? Oh, he just said, okay, so Moses, right.
How many animals did he take?
Huh?
Two of each.
oh.
Nope.
Moses didn't take them.
Oh,
I just said that. How many did Moses take on the ark?
your mother called you Ronald.
I got a question. I can't even remember. Go ahead.
I can't find it.
I was reading. Sometimes I run into stuff I just wonder about. There was, and maybe you can remember this. I don't even remember where it was, but there was a prophet who told a guy to take a staff and hit the ground. He said, just hit the ground. And the guy hit the ground 3 times or something with the staff. And then something went wrong, though. He said, because thou hast only hit the ground 3 times.
That was
Something.
Moses.
Was that Moses? Where's that at? In Exodus or Deuteronomy?
The rock at Miramai or something like that, Myra.
Oh no, not when God told Moses to hit the rock. Not that one. This was, I'm going to find it, but this was another incident. I think it was after that. I don't know if it was like in Samuel.
There was two incidents.
When he's
First
supposed to
time they
speak
did
to
it,
the rock.
Right, he was supposed to speak to the rock.
No, this was it wasn't Moses. It was another prophet after them. I'm thinking it's Samuel. And he was, you know how they go back and forth just talking to kings and different things.
Yeah.
And he had this guy, he says, take a staff and hit the ground. He just said hit the ground. And how many times you hit the ground, this will be how many people die. And I forgot the situation, but he hit the ground 3 times. And I was wondering, and then the prophet rebuked the guy for only hitting 3 times, and I didn't understand. But I'll find it. I know it's somewhere, it might be in 1 Samuel or somewhere around in there. It didn't bring back to your memory, huh?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Don't recall.
Fine,
What was backing out? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Didn't they fight over Moses' body?
Yes.
Yeah, why?
Why did they fight over Moses' body?
Because he was holy?
Well, let's see here.
Did they figure it out? You asked me a question, I just got it right.
Right, it didn't actually, it says, yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring him against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked him. So he really didn't fight with him. There was more of a verbal communication, verbal exchange. And Michael was very careful not to bring a railing accusation against Satan. And I don't understand all that right now to tell you what that's all about. But I think one of the things that, I see the contrast that's being made here, is how easily men are so quick to speak evil of those things which they know not. And here you got an angel of the Lord who probably knew what he needed to know in that situation, yet he wouldn't bring a railing accusation against the devil. So here, puny man is, it's like, again, it says the devils believe in God and they tremble. Here little puny man is, claims he believes in God and stands in defiance of God. That, and it is amazing to see the devil, come into the presence of God and knows his place, in spite of the fact he wants to dethrone God. It very possibly could be because there are, the things that are happening down here as a witness.
Right. So I mean, there's a governmental establishment.
Oh, yeah.
Things are going on.
Oh yeah. That has not changed. It just so happens that the God of, Satan is usurped the authority in that realm, and it's just like what you see down here. People always say, if there was a God, why this and why that, and we ask the same question when we talk about the heavens. Well, why does God? Well, I mean, God has, God's working things out. One of the greatest things, that's one of the things when I first started learning about dispensations, about what the purpose and the design of a dispensation is. And ultimately, the dispensations are God's design of demonstrating in different scenarios, His glory, number one, and His manifold wisdom, His greatness. And He's just working it out on the stage of human history, with His creation. Again, those are God's dealing with the nation of Israel. You see there the might and the power of God. You see God's dealing with the body of Christ, the church. There you see the manifold wisdom of God. Yeah. And who would think that God would entrust His creation to, as the movie called Prophecy, to bags of water? Because the human body is what, 97% of something water. So the movie they call them refer to humans as bags of water.
Well, that's what one of the Psalms. What is man that thou art mindful, and the Son of Man that thou visitest him? You made him a little Lord than the angels, and you've given him dominion over the creation of your hands. That's what you made. I think sometimes as human beings we always have these questions about God, and we know what we know from the scriptures, but you just by faith you have to know. I mean, God is infinitely perfect. Everything that happens, that He does, like with the different dispensations, how He handles. Why don't He just see human beings? We think, why don't He just get rid of Satan? But He has a perfectly good explanation for what He does. So I mean, far beyond anything we could comprehend right now. Anyway.
Well, I would say, who has known the mind of the Lord that He should
instruct them? Can you imagine? We trying to tell. It's like I can't even. I was going to compare it. I guess the only human comparison I could see is like a little baby trying to instruct
just
coming into the world trying to instruct a genius man. It's like, and that's not even a good comparison. I mean, that's just humanly speaking.
It almost compares because what the Lord said to Job, who is this that darkeneth counsel with words without knowledge? This stuff,
What intrigues me about God's wisdom is that every situation in life, He has prepared His word to take care of that. There's nothing that you're going to go through or can come upon you or that you're not. And it's weird because He knows the end from the beginning. That's amazing. That's kind of amazing.
Yes,
Okay, mine comes from 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 8. Okay, you know that?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
He said 2 Timothy, familiar territory.
Oh. they're saying that Jesus is from the seed of David. How's that possible?
Lineage.
But figuratively?
No. David is considered
The
a
father.
forefather of Christ.
He's in that line,
He's in that line.
bloodline.
And it's only by marriage, however,
Yeah.
not in actual bloodline. There is no bloodline to Christ from David. Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's what I thought they
it
were
is in a different, because Mary,
Mary is somehow, is she?
yeah,
she's
the
from
bloodline is from that side. Yeah, so.
And it's
yeah,
weird, right? Because actually Joseph is too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Mary.
Well, yeah,
Is
Joseph in
Joseph
a different way.
in a different way?
Joseph come through a line of actuality, if I'm not mistaken, Jeconiah, which of no seed would sit upon the throne of David from that line.
Oh.
No seed of this individual, and I think Joseph was from that line. My memory don't serve me. I'm not real clear about that right off the top of my head. But one of the lineages, the bloodline, was God had cursed him and said no seed of his.
I was just reading that. That's in I think that's in First Kings.
Jeconiah, I think the name of it.
It's in First Kings, because when I did that thing about rightly dividing, where the prophet, I kept reading. I read the before and after, chapter before, chapter after.
Right.
This guy, Jeroboam, well, it was another guy, and he did something, and God said nobody from his seed line will ever occupy the throne of David.
Right. And it's Jeconiah's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's around 1 Kings chapter 13 or
Kings.
something.
Well,
Where
they're
you
showing
at?
2 Kings
Oh, 2 Kings.
23,
Oh.
2 Kings 24. I'm not sure who the references, but First
I know in-
3:17 might be one.
I know in 1 Kings, I was checking it out. 1 Kings 11.
And it could be that it was Mary, the line that led to Mary, but because she married Joseph, gave Christ the right to the throne. And I think that's the way it goes.
And that could, yeah.
It's Mary's marriage to Joseph that gives Christ the right to the throne, because through the seed line that Mary came from may have been the line that could not sit upon would not sit upon the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But to your answer, Nicole, Jesus Christ of the seed of David, it just means that he's from that lineage. That's his heritage. David is his forefather, the bloodline. So, and I use that term just to make the point about family. It's like your forefathers, your grandparents, great-grandparents, etc. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Nate?
I got two questions.
Okay.
What, from generation to generation, Mary's mother to Mary's mother, all the way to Adam, all that is the bloodline too?
Yeah, God made of all people, of all nations on the face of the earth of one blood.
That's why genetically we're sinners
Yeah.
from Adam.
In other words, we all are kin to each other.
And my other,
Sin just had perverted life in such a way.
Yeah. And I'm a brother's keeper. That's Cain.
Alrighty.
what's your second question? My second
Oh.
question was, so it goes through Cain and Abel and through the whole city?
All right. Everybody that has ever lived has come through the seed line of Adam and Eve.
Well, Cain was advanced.
Yeah, but he still had children. They all had children, and their children had children, and their children's children had children.
That was still God.